And I knew that she had been lying, but I had no idea the extent of it. I mean, she had cheated on me multiple times with multiple people. She was doing drugs and drinking, and I mean, all this stuff that I was clueless about. And to say I was devastated is the understatement. It was a shot to my ego. I was embarrassed. I became so ashamed at what everyone knew but me, right? And because that had never ever happened to me, growing up or in previous relationships, I was so ashamed of that. But I wasn't going to talk to anybody about it.
You didn't really
Okay,
know
and
how to
so
process it, right?
I really didn't. And you know what, John? Well, again, you just going down the road, and like I said, it'd be one thing if you get dumped, but when you kind of are the one to end the relationship, you think, okay, man, like I said, bullet dodged. But I didn't know the damage that had done, and so I'll unpack it. So fast forward, I meet Jamie. We start dating, we get married eventually, and early in my marriage, this, what I'll call a betrayal wound now, as I've learned to call it, started rearing its head. And so when Jamie would be late and I didn't know where she was, when she's talking a little bit too long to another male, when she acts like she's really enjoying herself in the company of other men, or who are you looking, I'm looking over my shoulder at a restaurant, looks like you guys are, and the insecurity, the jealousy, which turned into control. If I can control you, you won't hurt me, right? And really, at its worst day, rage, just turning into starting fights over nothing, because I was covering the deep internal wound. It felt weak to say I'm insecure. It felt weak to say I don't know if I'm lovable. See, that was the insidious lie. It's not just, well, if someone else cheated on me, you will too. That's one concern, and that's the crazy brain that turns on in men who've been betrayed or cheated on or abandoned or left. And this can be by a woman, it can be by a father, But the insidious lie is there's something wrong with me. And if I were better, more, adequate, better looking, more lovable, what have you, more valuable, more worth, then they wouldn't have done that. And so that insecurity was basically an identity in me. And so I projected all of that onto Jamie, concerned that she's going to leave me too. You're going to love someone else too. And so because that feels so weak, that insecurity, that I'm not lovable, men don't want to feel weak, and so we explode. So our default covering that becomes anger. And you hear people say anger is covering fear, sadness, or shame. Well, I had a lot of shame and I had a lot of fear. Not as much, sadness, but that fear that she's gonna leave me, and the shame that I'm not lovable.